Should we get my first guest out? Yeah. Okay, but first, let's see you in fantastic form in one of those moments of cinema which I just think is instantly recognisable and it's just a wonderful moment. This is Michelle Pfeiffer in The Fabulous Baker Boys.
He's washing dishes and baby clothes. He's so ambitious, even so. But don't forget, folks, that's what you get, folks, for making whoopee. For making whoopee. For making whoopee. For making whoopee.
That's how it's done. Please welcome Michelle Pfeiffer, ladies and gentlemen. The wonderful Michelle Pfeiffer. Hey, Michelle, how lovely to see you.
Oh, lovely to be here.
Hey, I noticed you looking away when we showed the clip there. Are you, you one of these people who doesn't enjoy watching themselves on screen?
I don't like it at all. Okay. I have to say, looking at it, though, I was just amazed that I didn't fall on my ass walking in those heels down that piano.
OK, here's why I'm so pleased to see you back on the big screen, Michelle. It's because you kind of disappeared for a few years. You stopped making movies, and I'm assuming this was a conscious decision on your choice. How long was it in between the last movie you made and then coming back with Stardust, or whichever you made first?
Well, I made one movie about 2 years ago. I'm not sure that it will ever come out, but it was about 4 years, I guess.
In anyone's career, that's quite a long time not to be doing what is their primary kind of...
I don't think anyone actually makes the conscious decision not to work for 4 years, but it just... and then after about 4 years, and my children started asking me, Mom, are you ever going back to work? And literally were kicking me out the door. I thought maybe it was time.
You know you've been sitting around the house too long
if
they start saying that.
Yeah.
And do you slob around the house? Do you actually, you know, just relax, chill, not do stuff? Or are you one of these people who, even though they're not working, has to find things to occupy their time?
Yeah, I have to be busy. I don't like sort of sitting still. And as long as I have some sort of project going on, I'm happy.
And do you do DIY as well? Someone told me that you're quite handy around the house.
Oh, yeah, DIY, that's handyman.
So if a shelf needs realigning or...
I do it. Yeah, love the hardware store.
OK, see, and have you got all the equipment you need?
Oh, yeah, I have my own power tools.
You have a...
Don't go there.
Hey, do you have, Michelle Pfeiffer, do you have a tool belt?
Yes.
I love a tool belt.
Me too.
I've got a tool belt and I wear it, but I don't do any jobs.
What color is yours?
It's kind of a natural raw leather colour.
Mine too.
Have you ever worn it saucily with nothing else on, just to amuse your partner?
No, actually I haven't.
I have, and my wife wasn't that interested. Not really.
Maybe you didn't have the right tools.
OK, so what a nice period, though, it must have been, even though it wasn't planned as such, to have time to actually... Because I would have thought sometimes you're very much in demand. You always have been, ever since you first became, you know, an established actress. So how do you choose a script? I imagine in the case of Stardust, it's because it's so brilliantly written. Would I be right with it?
Exactly.
Yes. This is really difficult for me to talk about this, because, you know, obviously, it's a great script.
It is a great script.
But I can't take full credit for it. So you get a movie like that, and do you factor in the amount of time away from home? Do you factor in kind of because that was shooting over here in the UK, of course.
It was shooting over here. I love London, but I wasn't crazy about leaving home, and the kids were in school, and but then they joined me when they were out of school for the summer, and they actually then and they had been here. I was here for I Could Never Be Your Woman, so they were here for 2 summers in a row. What
age were they? Because they're kind of like mid-teens now, is that right? They're kind of young
14.
teens? OK. What age did they become aware that Mum was a star, you know, made movies and was kind of...
They really haven't been terribly interested in my work. I actually tried to show them, and you know, none of it has really been age-appropriate. And
Yeah.
I actually, a few years back, thought, oh, Grease 2. I'll show them that. Surely they'll like that. That's safe. And they lasted about 20 minutes. But these two films kind of came up at the perfect time. They're the perfect age. And I've always sort of, it's been like church and state for me. And I've really sort of kept the private life separate from the work. And this was the first summer that they really participated in any of it, and the first premieres they had been to, and it was really fun.
And they must have loved all that.
Stardust.
Yeah, well,
and they loved seeing me look so disgusting and be this.
Well, here's the thing. Well, could you the character you play in Stardust? She's a witch.
She's a witch. Her name is Lamia, and she is roughly about 5,000 years old, and you know, probably reaching the end of her witchy years. Yeah. And she and her sisters, and in their witch's lair, and three of the most disgusting, most hideous evil witches you've ever seen.
We have a clip. We'll show a clip so people know what we're talking about.
Okay.
This is a clip from Stardust, and it's Michelle in her kind of earlier witchy form, and you'll see what we mean when she said she's coming to the end of her witchy years. Have a look at this.
You'll be needing what's left of the last star.
There's not much left.
Oh, soon there'll be plenty for us all.
She goes from looking hideous and throne-like to looking beautiful because she's eaten this star, and then they want to find more star, don't they? So they can all look young.
They want to find more star, yeah.
It's great fun to watch. It's I'm sure it was fun to make as well, I would have thought.
It was fun. It was a lot of hard work, and the prosthetics, the old hag it took, you know, 4.5 to 6 hours of makeup.
Wow, so every morning you were in the chair for that long to make you look old and wrinkly? They could have just got someone like Natasha Kaplinsky in, or Anne Robinson. It's just a joke. Or Danny Minogue. But that must be, in a way, I would have thought, is it kind of liberating being made to look horrible as opposed to them trying to beautify you even more? I mean, is that in some ways kind of a nice thing as an actress?
Well, as liberating as it is, you know, it's also hard to act through the prosthetics, and all of your facial expressions are obviously masked. Yeah. But, and you know, your skin is burning. It's kind of
Yeah, because it's glue. They stick it on with glue and stuff, and it must feel really hot, I would have thought.
It was really, and it was hot. It was summer, and I walked around the entire time with one of those little hand fans this close to my face. All of the stills of me on set or with this little hand fan, because I could just barely feel a little bit of the cool temperature.
Hey, now, you've made so many movies I've enjoyed over the years. You mentioned Grease 2, and it's one I've never seen. I've never seen Grease 2. But I found it weird, because last night at the Stardust premiere that we went to, Matthew Vaughn, the director of the movie, came out on stage, and he said, I'm going to introduce the leading lady in the film now, and she's someone I wanted to work with ever since I first saw her in Grease 2. And everyone laughed because they thought he was being...
And he was serious.
Like I said, but he's a big fan of that. Now, when he first told you that, did you think he was being for real, or do you think he was...
I thought he was pulling my leg. He said to me, he was interviewing me for Esquire, and he said, so what do you think is my favorite movie of yours? And I said, Grease 2. And he said, yeah. And, yeah, you know, but I forget how young he is.
Yeah.
He's young.
He's about 12. Isn't
Yeah,
he? So
exactly.
He wouldn't know any better. Hey, but I've never seen it. Is it any good, or is it bad? I mean, because it did well.
I haven't seen it in so long. I
Would
have
you
no
like to
idea.
Would you like to see a clip of it?
Oh, not really.
Oh, we
no,
got
sure.
low.
I'm a good, yeah.
Okay, well, let's have a look. You're
Load
a good
it up.
sport. Okay, here we go. This is Michelle. I've never.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Cool rider.
Okay, here we go. This is Grease 2 with Michelle Pfeiffer.
I don't want no ordinary guys coming on strong with me. They don't know what I'm looking
can see, Michelle, I can see why he loves it.
Can you see?
That's some serious dance moves.
It was my work in that movie that made him want to cast me in this. You know, my chiropractor's always asking me, did I injure my neck? And it was that head move.
You're really throwing yourself into that.
Yeah,
but only people in
myself
movies
about.
ever dance that way. It's like you and Kevin Bacon in Footloose. If you saw someone dance like that in real life, you'd leave the club.
What are you saying?
Well, let's talk about one of my favourite movies you're in, and it's a fantastic performance by you. It's a great movie, which I think was the next big movie after that was Scarface.
Oh, okay.
And that, man, that's an incredible film. I'm sure most of you will have seen it. What a movie, and what a chemistry on screen, what an incredible performance that you share with Al Pacino there. That really is quite something. Was that tough for you that early in your career, working with someone as established as him in a movie like that?
I was terrified every day. I was really young, and it was, you know, a gang of really seasoned, accomplished actors, and I was this little blonde from
How
Orange
old were you
County,
then?
and I was 23.
So 23, so I'm really just starting out as well on screen. And it's a difficult role you have against him now. I mean, it's quite a tough role. How was he with you? I mean, did he help you? Was it easier working with someone that?
I mean, what do you do with me if you're him? You know, I mean, it's like working with a kid. You know, it's sort of he was focused on his own work. I mean, he was pleasant enough, but you know, it was, and they were, you know, it was Tony Montana, and you know.
Yeah.
And they were all doing their thing, and I was like the only girl.
Yeah. It's a real kind of boys' movie, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you do, and personally, you did a little bit in there, do you do the line from the film? You know his line from the film?
Excuse me?
You know the big line he has when people are coming in, he says...
Oh, the big line. I thought you said lion.
No, no. but if there's a lion in the film that I didn't see, I'd love to see the director's cut. Where he says, you know, when they're coming in, and he says... Say hello to my little friend.
Oh, yeah.
You ever done that impersonation?
I haven't ever tried.
Okay,
Say
well that...
hello to my little friend.
That's pretty good. You should have had that part instead of him.
See?
Okay, let's talk about your different leading men you worked with over the years, because some of my favourite actors you shared screen time with. Pacino, brilliant. Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Of course, you worked with Nicholson. Now, Nicholson, you've worked with a couple of times.
And I worked with him twice.
Wow. And, you know, he doesn't do talk shows. I'm probably never going to meet the guy. I just am so in awe of his... I think he's probably the greatest American screen actor still living. I think he's certainly one of them. Once again, how's he to work with? What's that experience like for you? Is he a giving actor? Is he someone who supports you and
He
helps you?
is so incredibly generous. And what was so impressive... Of course, I met him and really worried. Because they sent me up to his house to meet him. And, you know, you hear stories.
He has
And,
a reputation.
yeah, he has a reputation. And to uphold, and he does. And, but he was so lovely. He has this gift because of who he is, of making people feel incredibly at ease right away. And that was really amazing to see that at work.
Was he flirtatious with you at all?
No, he wasn't. You know, I think he must have sensed that I was...
What was it? He was disappointed.
Probably
You were
really
disappointed that he didn't flirt with you at all?
No, I was hugely relieved.
Because I think if you know someone's got a reputation,
But then again, you have to kind of drop a house on me to know.
So you wouldn't know when
I'm a
someone's
little
flirting with you?
oblivious to that.
So really, so if someone's coming onto you, you wouldn't know? Ewan's looking interested. He thinks he spots a window of opportunity when you get back in there.
No, I'm a little oblivious.
I wouldn't even think about it, Chris. I'm sorry that... Okay.
He was pouring alcohol in my shoes.
Yeah, that's flirting in this country.
I thought that was a little flirtatious.
Yeah. The next thing he does is offer you a bite of his kebab. Say no, okay? Let's talk about one more of the actors you work with who I very much admire. I think he's a terrific screen actor, and you worked with him more recently, George Clooney. You worked with him in One Fine Day, which was a lovely movie. I really enjoyed that film. Now, George, famously single. One of those guys never going to be pinned down for some things. You thought otherwise, did you not?
I did. I bet him that he would get married. Actually, I thought he might marry the girl he was dating at that time.
And he did?
Obviously, he did not.
Now, you see, okay, you had this bet with him. Has he collected? Do you owe him cash for this bet?
No, but, you know, he keeps inflating the bet. I think it's up to like $100,000 or something.
So that's really
it was
kind
like $100, I bet
you know,
him.
he's never going to get married now, and he's going to use
And
you
he's
as an
not
excuse.
getting his money either.
Yeah. Well, you don't ever give it to him. But he seems like a lovely...
I still think he will.
You think he will? No,
do.
he won't
I
settle
do.
down. Look at him, he's having too much fun. Look at him, he can't believe his luck.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking
He's
man,
a
though, isn't he?
handsome devil, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. If you turn him upside down, he'd look roughly the same with that beard, wouldn't he? Hang on. I think you do look a bit like Clooney, Chris.
Fuck off.
And you have the same easygoing charm. Hey, Michelle, how lovely to see you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Congratulations on Stardust. It's the greatest movie ever made. Michelle Pfeiffer, ladies and gentlemen, the lovely Michelle Pfeiffer. Thank you so much. And I know you're heading off. Take journey home. Michelle Pfeiffer.